Curry is one of the most consistent pros in the Valorant ranked ladder today, but how does he do it? And more importantly, what's the difference in his skills compared to yours? The way that he wins all of his games is through strategy. And today we're going to be deep diving his footage to give you better perspective on how a pro player thinks so that you can apply it to your own situations. My hope is that you'll be able to rank up with some of these strategies, so pay attention and feel free to ask questions down below. What can we expect in Haven for Team Curry? Haven has many different ways to play, and on defense it can be incredibly difficult to be able to win rounds. Best ways to win is to gamble stack, prediction calm, and be able to be in the right place at the right time to get the best value. The way that you do this is going to be through information. Now from Curry, who's going to be playing Sova, this will be very key, as positions such as long A will allow him to be able to get information to his teammates to be able to move to certain positions faster. Renewable resources such as a dart will be used early on in the round, and this will allow for space to be taken on A to be able to start for a flank if they wanted to, or at the very least be able to rotate people into positions on B or C early into the round. Of course, from the attack side, we want to be aggressively taking space on either the C long, middle, or long A paths. Some of the common things you will see on this map for the attackers is smokes thrown into this position or the V1 smoke, which we will talk about later on in this game. Smokes in these positions allow for a lack of information gathered from the defending team, which is essential for, again, being in that right position at the right time. With a smoke like this on the cross, you're able to easily challenge this position and attack A unknowingly for the defenders on A, which forces, at the end of the day, two players to be playing on A site to be able to cover the bomb site, which is exactly what you want to do, spreading resources and players across the map like spreading not enough butter over too much bread. On both sides of the maps, you're going to see advanced levels of tactics called re-clearing. Re-clearing is essential to the defender's side to be able to get information or to set trap plays. A common trap play you'll probably end up seeing is the one you're seeing right here with A site. Depending on what agents you have, this can be more or less effective. Flashes like this can easily take out someone who's going to be on the opposite side unknowingly and allow for Jet to dash on or people to be able to explode out of this smoke to catch the attackers off guard. These are common things you'll see in high level play. So let's take a look and see how it's applied.
Nothing A, nothing A. The guns say the guns.
So right away, we're having an example of easy information acquired from long A. And immediately right afterwards, with all the information given, it's a prediction comm. We think that they're going to go C. This is so important, especially on eco rounds, but also important in general on rounds on defense. You need to be willing to make gamble stacks and move people around based on the information that you have. And this is really what's going to set up those trap plays that we talked about earlier on in the video, and also set up positions for where your team can take good quality fights to be able to force thrifties. So because of these comms, we've now made it into a 1v3 situation. Now, obviously this isn't the most ideal situation, but with 2 frags off the start of this round, it easily starts putting some damage into the enemy's economy, which is exactly what you're looking for. When you're on eco, you're always looking for small victories, and one of the small victories, obviously, is going to be damaging or taking away lives of the enemy team. Any kind of damage you do to the body, for example, is also money out of their pockets, as most of the time, you'll see $1,000 being invested into armor. So once again, you'll have to rebuy that in the following round. So these are all small victories that can lead to bigger results in our further gun rounds.
Player standing.
Now, a lot of you might say, well, Curry, why don't you throw your dart in this situation? The reason why we don't throw this dart is because there's multiple different pathways Curry can go. For example, the flank could be an option and could catch people when they're rotating back towards C to defend the bomb. Now, obviously just waiting outside of a trip, for example, and kind of working around that could maybe catch a close range fight depending on where that trip is placed. Curry could also go towards garage. So there's a lot of opportunities for where Curry could be right now, and we're not really 100% sure as we are the 3 players here. So typically in this situation, falling back, or even with Curry, what he's doing right now, playing into the smoke, can create those ugly fights that he's looking for in this one situation. So right now he's going to be in a good spot playing in an off angle, and he can probably catch one. There it is, catches his brother, and almost gets the second one there. So again, just being able to get another little bit of frags here, get a little bit of damage to the economy, can go a really long way in the overall result of the game. Controllers are incredibly important on Haven. We're about to see an example of something called a V1 smoke. Let's take a look.
You need to spot, I can't spot his breach, see?
It's quiet A, I'm leaving.
They did V1 smoke.
Now V1 smoke is the smoke that's thrown on the connector entrance towards A long. That smoke is thrown right here. There are many different versions of the smoke that you can throw, one being deeper obviously, but this one right here denies information for how many players could possibly be moving in from the attacker side towards sewers. So naturally, with the lack of information, obviously info is key for defense, we now have to commit more utility in terms of Sova drone to be able to guarantee how many people are actually traveling through the A site. And this will again help you with stacking or moving around to contain in positions such as this one right over here on Haystack. If you know there's going to be multiple towards sewer, it's easy to be able to take space elsewhere. When the attacker team tries to take space from us, we must take space from them on the other side of the map.
Sure. Go for sure, I think. Not up yet. They're hiding. Maybe going long.
So as you can see, darting through that smoke, trying to catch one person, see what's going on over there. Obviously the Omen is a possibility, but we don't know exactly where everyone is. So now Curry's kind of in between two decisions right now. Do I fall back and cover short for my jet right here, which is, in my opinion, the best move you can do, just peeking in and out from this one angle right here, and waiting for a reaction over towards B, which seems to be happening right now. They're kind of teasing the B entrance, but if you move in and out from this position, you have a quick rotation towards B to be able to support, but also be able to do the job for your jet who is holding that long angle right here.
Drop split now.
And because he decided to be kind of in between two decisions, we call this the gray area protocol, by the way. Gray area being that you're in between two decisions, either black or white. You kind of fall into this one little space right here. The hesitation to be able to hold that space and hold that position to be able to rotate quickly is what ultimately gets Curry in the end right here.
Looked up
It's always important to try to commit to one thing, and obviously with an overcommitment of a rotation here, we couldn't really afford to because of the position of our jet over towards long. And that also led to Jet's demise right here, as we just saw. So how do we fix this issue? We have to do something called the Rollover Protocol. If Curry's intention is to fall back all the way towards B and support the B site, then that means Jet must also move one position to the right at the very least. That would mean being on the back end of site or the entrance where Curry was playing before. This will allow for the attackers to now take that space for free, but with a big grouping of players towards middle, like so, you can easily re-clear mid and start flanking if A site is taken later on in the round. Whenever you're rotating, it's always important to be able to roll over to one position or one opening as you're going around. For example, this one right over here, or the left-hand side of B, or the garage entrance, obviously, and the final entrance, which is going to be C long. So you have to rotate one position to the left or one position to the right based on what the attacking team is doing for you. That way there's no holes and nobody can lurk up unexpectedly and catch you in the back. Curry is known for his incredible ability to clutch, and this next situation right here is no exception. Curry uses his ultimate in order to set up a flood retake, which is an attack on the bomb site that is done pre to the plant. The goal is to be able to scale off this ult and stop the plant in its tracks, especially in the points in time where they're about to plant the bomb or are currently planting the bomb. This is when the attacking side is weakest. Unfortunately, that doesn't work out, and Curry is left in a 1v1 situation. The one issue that we have here with Curry in this 1v1 is that the Cypher does have ult, so we have to be aware of this. And obviously with the late amount of time here, at any point in time the Cypher can use any of the dead bodies towards CCT, and that could definitely change the flow of this round, and that's what's going to happen right now. So now Curry needs to move because there's really no point in not moving. Pre-firing this angle over on this spot could be the answer in terms of where that Cypher could have been, using the ult to fake the position or even push up and be aggressive. So Curry is ready for that. Now the next cool thing is what Curry does with his dart. The dart covers the right-hand side of this entire bomb site. Now he hears in the post plant, the bomb is planted in this space right here. So if the dart goes down and we see that there's nothing over here, this has limited the positions to where Cypher could be playing, either towards garage or on the left-hand side of site. So it's going to be very easy for Curry to now move up onto the site and crosshair plays to the left-hand side. The one concern that he does have is this cage has been popped, and there's a chance that Cypher could have gotten into that cage at that point in time. With the cage going down, we now know that he has to be on the left-hand side of the site or towards the default part of the site, just with the coverage of that dart. So the crosshair placement is natural onto the left-hand side. We are concerned a little bit about garage, which is smart because there could be a rewrap, and obviously now Curry reveals him and is able to take him out And I would credit 100% the dark positioning and the timing of that to be able to limit how many places the Cypher could have played from.
Yo, TP there.
Okay, orb one. My push long, get ready.
Okay, so the concern here, and this is actually a really good read, is that there's a chance that they could be in this smoke and pop flash out. So what we know right now is Yoru has TP'd, we know there's someone on orb, and Sova has just thrown a dart. So right now we have a good number of people towards A long, and this could be an easy pop flash from the Yoru, or maybe a breach will set up from the A side on short to be able to blast through this one space. So right away you see the instantaneous reaction of the Jet, who is aware of this as well, to fall back into a position what we call as anti-flash. Now anti-flash is all about maybe having one person out in the open to be able to kind of suss out the situation, kind of like a sacrificial lamb, whereas the other person will play back in a spot where they'll be able to dodge said flashes and be able to peek out after the flashes have been thrown to be able to catch the enemies off guard. This will be like a counterplay to the trap that they are trying to set over on the other side. So good concern right over here. And if you notice this in your team play environments, you can definitely use this as your own trap play, especially in the lower ranks, that people will not be able to expect off of. Again, this smoke right here, brilliant to be able to take space without the enemy team knowing it, but just be aware that this smoke can also be used as a trap to be able to bite you in the ass later on in the round. Whenever I coach Sova, I always see a common issue, and that is the drone and how you use it. The drone is a piece of utility that is so key to be able to use as long as possible in its entire lifespan. And what commonly will happen with a lot of Sova players is they'll pop their drone, and as soon as they see someone or tag someone, they'll break it. Well, watch what Curry does here. Curry's real intention in this situation, being that they did win the last round, now it's a 6-7, is that the enemy team might possibly stack. The two most common plays on an eco round are the stack or the aggressive play. Well, if this late into the round, without any kind of aggro play anywhere, it's most likely that there's going to be some form of stack or trap play. And the best way to suss that out is through the drone. So watch what he does here as he tags his first target. Most people would immediately break that. Curry is calling out right away that Cypher is on site, and he's going to keep moving over to the corner to try to clear the back left corner here on short. This will be able to help him suss out if there's a potential stack and protect his team to be able to start rotating towards C and executing over there. Luckily that doesn't happen, and there's no stack here, but just be aware that so many times I see this on a regular basis at lower ranks. You must use that drone to its full extent and bring it as far as you can to clear out as many close angles as possible. This next round shows the importance of mid-rounding, and mid-rounding of where you need to path based on what the number situations are. Now, based on your protocols and what numbers there are, you'll have different things as a team, but also in ranked environments you can use it as a very simple system. Anytime you're up numbers, you want to be attacking the extremities, and that's exactly what's going to happen on this round when Curry's team goes up 4-3. Let's watch.
Close garage one?
Yeah, don't hard commit.
Don't commit, don't commit.
Now that was a crazy frag. But here's the situation. It's now 4-3, and the dangerous positions that we want to avoid are the midline. The reason why the midlines are a nasty spot is because they oftentimes will be flooded with either enemies that we can't really predict where they're going to be. For example, if we go through B, they could be on either side of us as we're moving into the bomb site. And there could be a million different corners that they could be lurking into, and many different angles that they can shoot us from. So generally speaking, when you have more numbers, you want to take your numbers and hit the extremities, this being C long or A long. And the reason why is that we have natural attrition going towards these two lines. If we go towards A long, for example, and we attack the bomb site, we keep the enemy in front of us. No different than if we were to go towards C long. But when we go through short, or if we go through B middle, or if we go through garage, there can be multiple lines and angles in which the enemy team can take to be able to get ugly fights and flip the round into their favor right away. So watch how they handle this situation.
What's he like?
He's walking down from B, I think. Come with me, Breach.
Just wanna re-hit C?
Yeah, we hit C, I'm down.
Long or go to garage?
Let's go through long.
So right away, it's universal. We're all going to go through long. It makes more sense to do that. So once they've wrapped through long, it should be an easy execution on the C bomb site, which they're expecting. The enemies will rotate towards A at this point in time. So they're not going to expect this long push. That's the hope anyway.
I already did. It was bro.
I'll dark backside. Ready, can speak? Just walk
What
up.
is
So here comes
Dart.
the explodes.
Yeah.
They're gonna walk,
One now,
explode
it's
on
gonna-
contact. Once they
gonna make
get
a noise.
contact, once they get close, they'll start
Back
exploding.
back.
There's the
He can have
contact,
trips, he can have trips.
and now they can move in.
Blinding,
He might
blinding.
be blind. He might be blind. He might be blind.
In the cage maybe.
Easy execution, easy opening frag right here,
Yeah.
and another one to follow up on, and that
30
makes it an easy wrap up for this round. So again, attack the extremities and you'll see way more success in your ranked matches. This next round has so many crazy elements to it in terms of things that are tells from the enemy team, but also one thing which is called fight planning, and looking at your ultimates and using it against their ultimates. Take a look at what is acquired for information on this rotate back towards C.
They're looking for you, probably trying to kill you. I just block CD and then exit C.
Gun here. Delete.
Nice.
Yeah, they hear
He
us,
was
they hear us.
containing.
Run, run,
You guys
run,
can
run,
just
run,
go
run.
see. You guys can run
That's
see.
fine.
He was containing was the call out. Now, what does containing mean? Containing means that a player is put up into a position, usually aggressive or inserted somewhere, like this one for example, which will make it impossible for the enemy team to re-hit on the other side without Omen knowing about it. So obviously with this line of sight that Omen is taking right over here, there can't be any other execution towards B or C with a person deposited into this position. So this spot right here being buried into the corner is a tell for our teammates Killjoy once they frag them. This has to be a contain, which means that the opponent is most likely already rotated towards A, which makes it much easier for us to hit C. So our timing should be in our favor in this situation, being that Omen is in this position and already calling out that they had to be going A in this situation. So now because we have that information, we're gonna start hauling ass towards
Yours gonna be
C
here,
site.
everything.
You dart back side.
Yeah.
Listen up, dart again.
Placing swamp grenade.
They're gonna fast flood. He's going out. Okay.
Yeah, they have.
Now here's where it gets interesting. This dart will open up the back sight and confirm that there's nobody else here. But look up to the top of the screen. What do you notice? The breach ult. The breach ult can be used on this round to be able to flip the round into their favor. We have to be mindful of that. So the next thing you want to do in this situation is fight plan. And we talk about what kind of ults we have or what utility we have to counter that breach ult. So let's listen to what the team says right here.
Reach out.
Swamp grenade out.
Something CT stuff.
We have counter reach out.
Grenade.
Dart.
We have counter breach ult. So what that means is the breach is ready if there is an ult being thrown, which it is going to be thrown right now, that they will counter breach ult. Listen up.
Backside. I'm multi back.
Okay.
He's out.
So there's the counter. So the flood with the breach ult is prevented now with our own breach ult. And this is important. Whenever you see a situation in your games where this could be popping up, think about what ultimates you can use to counter. For example, KG ult could also be used to counter. Or you can use a Sova ult to be able to prevent the flood back into the bomb site by simply having him positioned right over here and having Curry blast this one entrance into C. Using any of these kinds of tactics, you can easily counter a lot of the plays that ranked players will do against you, but you have to be ultimately aware, looking around your screen, looking at the top of the screen, for example, and getting the information at the right times.
Gun out. Everyone gun out. Both. One more.
Say.
Wait,
did you see that play?
I truly hope that some of the plays that these high-level players did today will help give you more perspective to be able to win more rounds in your ranked matches, but also in your premier matches. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and until next time, we'll see you then.